I'm going to give you two examples, and what you have to do is tell me which one you think is poor and which one you think is rich, okay? So first we have Jenny. Now Jenny earns a six-figure salary, she's an executive for some company, drives a BMW car, really sporty car, and has a massive house in the suburbia. Then on the other hand, we have Patricia. Now Patricia is a high school teacher. She has a salary of, let's say, $40,000. She drives a Toyota, nothing too fancy, and she has a small house that she rents in the city, all right? Which one out of these two is rich and which one is poor? Well, what if I told you that Jenny, with her massive salary and her massive house, an amazing car, is actually poorer than Patricia? Now, the definition of poor versus rich, it's not as much about the money that people have in the bank. It's more about a state of mind. What you do with money, whether you work for money or whether you have money working for you. Now, this is not something they teach in school, and it's actually ridiculous that they don't teach this at a young age, because it means that people, get stuck in the rat race. They get stuck in having, these jobs that they hate just because the jobs give them money and give them security, right? When they could actually be doing something else with their lives. That people are trapped by the work and their money, right? They're slaves to their money. When they could actually have money working for them and have complete freedom. So it all boils down to what you think are assets and what you think are liabilities. Now, for most people, they'll think that their main house that they live in is an asset, as is their car, right? It's a depreciating asset. Now, legally that's the case, but the definition that I like, and it's a definition that I found in a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. If you haven't read it, please do yourself a favor. It's going to open your mind to what money actually is and how money works. But basically, an asset, the brief definition that I like, an asset is something that gives you money. It produces money, okay? It puts money in your pocket. Whereas a liability is something that takes money away from you. Now, for example, your house, your main residence, even though some people might view it as an asset, and and it's also true that its value should go up over time, because that's kind of what property does over time. It's still probably going to cost you money every month, right? Or every year. You've got your taxes to pay. You've got renovations to do if you want a new kitchen. Maybe the boiler breaks and you have to fix that, right? Or in the long run, it's likely that it's taking away from your cash flow. It's taking money away from you. That's why it's a liability. Same with a car as well. A car, yeah, sure, it's worth like, $20,000, for example, if it's a roughly reasonable car. But the reality is that you have to pay for insurance. You have to pay for repairs. You've got your car payments if you've got a lease, right? That's taking money away from you. Other examples of liabilities, things that get money away from us are luxuries, basically everything that you spend, right? Everything that you own, like your golf clubs or your TV, right? These are things that you've had to spend money, and they're not really putting money in your pocket, right? They're liabilities. Also, any sort of debt, any consumer debt, anything like that is a liability. Now, on the other column, right, the other hand, you've got assets. Now, assets are really what differentiates rich people from poor people, okay? And again, in the book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, I think he says, rich people buy assets, poor people buy liabilities, and the middle class, and this is the important one, buy liabilities that they think are assets. So as we've discovered, a house or a car, right? They think they're assets, they're actually liabilities. So assets, what are assets? Well, assets, are things that give us money, that they produce money, whether that be passive income that comes to your account every month, or just the growth, and capital gains. So for example, in assets, you've got stocks, you've got bonds, you've got rental property, which that's a bit of a differentiation here. Your primary residence, you're probably going to have to end up paying more money than you get back. But for rental, that's a different story, right? That's a different story. We'll get into way more detail about that in future videos. But yeah, what other examples of assets? You can have a business, especially a business that you don't have to run yourself. You know, maybe you've bought a business and it just produces income for you, or you have created a business and you've kind of set it up in a way that it's your managers that take care of the business and you just earn money, right? And at that point, it's pretty much passive income. So that's really the definition of being rich or being poor, right? It's whether, you know, how many assets and how many liabilities you've got. Now, if you want to be poor all your life, you know, and again, I'm not saying being poor means having little money. You know, you could have $5 million and be poor because all you have are liabilities. If you want to stay poor, just keep doing what you're doing, okay? Just keep buying things, keep buying luxuries, you know, keep going on amazing, really expensive holidays and restaurants, and keep buying expensive cars every 4 years, right? That is how you will stay poor. If you want to be rich, okay, you have to start creating assets. You know, spend the money that you save every month into buying stocks, right? Buying index funds, buying rental property, creating a business, you know, starting an online business, or just kind of providing a service that provides you money, right? Because after a while, rather than working for money, which is how we pretty much all have to start, you know, we have a job, we exchange 40 hours for a certain amount of money, right? That's active income. Instead of that, when you have enough assets, it's your money that you've kind of sunk into those assets that's going to be working for you, and it's going to give you passive income every month or every few months, right? That's really the key, guys, to living a rich and free life, or being a slave to your paycheck, being a slave to your money. Again, I don't know how they don't teach this in school, okay? It's so important. I had to wait until I was in my mid-20s to actually learn this. I wish I'd known this, you know, at the age of 12 or something, before I actually started working and started getting trapped in the rat race. Now, just as a last point, guys, being rich and investing in assets, it's hard, okay? It's hard. You have to educate yourself. It's not what most people do, okay? Most people are kind of programmed in a way that they get money, right? They get money, they feel really happy, really euphoric, and they use that money and they go and buy a new TV, right? Or they go and buy, I don't know, a big restaurant meal, you know, oh, we just got paid, let's splash out, right? That's not the way that you should do things. It's the easy way, and it's what probably most people that you know do. But if you want to be rich and you don't want to stay poor and be a slave to money and your job, you have to start buying assets, okay? That's basically the main point of this video. Now, thank you for watching this video. If you could do me a big favor, could you please just drop a like on this video on YouTube and subscribe to my channel? I'll be creating these videos every week, and they're gonna be informational, they're gonna be pretty awesome, all right? So yeah, just please do that. Just subscribe, click a like, drop a comment if you have got any suggestions about future videos. And yeah, just have an awesome day, guys. See you later.